But I'm always excited each time I get the chance to sort of FaceTime with you, because in a sense, that's what's happening here. We are FaceTiming. If this is your first time, thank you so much for stopping by here on the channel. My name is Zoe Maven, and I love putting video content on platforms like these as well as others. And today I thought to share with you a bit about an interview that I had. We are talking elections, United States elections, straight up. That's really what's in focus most of the time. A lot of the things that we get to see in the news has to do with the United States, the major players right now, what they're doing. Campaigns are literally over, and it's the fight to the last, but for us here that are outside of the United States, one might wonder, so why should you care? You're not even here, right? Anything and everything that happens in the United States affects every other part of the world. Like it or not, that's just the way that it is. So yes, you can understand why everyone is interested in what happens in the US in these coming elections. A lot is at stake, and the past couple of months have shown us what is going on. Agendas, power play, lots of things have been ongoing. And I got the beautiful opportunity in one of our programs, on one of our station programs where I work, we, alongside my team, we got an amazing opportunity to talk with Paul Crouch Jr. You do know him. He is a producer, a filmmaker, a cinematographer, among several other things. He has produced a film documentary called Trump 2024, which kind of showcases and tries to describe a narrative of what America will be like after Trump. What's going to happen. A lot of that is in that film. You should go watch it if you haven't. There's a trailer as well, all that stuff. But so we had a beautiful time talking, and it was very, very insightful. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to be playing you excerpts of that interview and let you decide for yourself. Tell me what you think afterwards, and then I will be back and we'll talk some more, right? So here is the interview that we had with Paul Crouch Jr. Okay, can you tell us a bit about what the film is, the documentary, what it's about? Trump 2024, obviously, it does have to do with elections coming up in the United States, but it's much more than that. Can you give us some hints?
Absolutely. Again, to kind of follow up on what I was saying before, there's a side of President Trump that we here in America just don't see because he's been so attacked by our secular press, but we wanted to show a side of the man that people just don't know about. And we as believers understand his, like I said, defending the border wall, moving away from globalism. You guys were mentioning globalism a little bit earlier. Yeah. What is socialism all about? And there's some policies that he's been putting in place protecting religious liberty that we wanted the world and we wanted America to know about, and that's why we created the film.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so with elections coming up in November, obviously we see what's happening in the United States at the moment. It's a very, very crucial time, a very troubling time as well. We do know that there are a lot of people that are interested in the elections, and even in other countries, in other parts of the world, a lot is hinged on the outcome of the elections. Can you tell us more about why the interest, especially in the outcome of this election?
Well, I have always believed that here in America, our racial diversity has been one of our strengths of this nation. Now, again, with everything like that, it's a two-edged sword, because we have the best of the best from India, from Asia, from Africa. Certainly, it was founded certainly with the European immigrants from Europe and England and Ireland and such. But our racial diversity, I have always believed, is our strength, not our weakness. Yeah. But there is spiritual warfare that gets involved in situations like this, and I believe Satan is doing everything he can to tear this country apart and to tear this country down, because we want, my father's ministry, which was birthed here in America, Trinity Broadcasting, you guys know, was birthed on Mark 16:15. Go into all the world and preach the gospel. Yeah. And from this nation, missionaries have literally been sent around the world for hundreds of years, wanting to bring the good news of Jesus Christ to the world. Now, you guys in Africa are actually sending missionaries back to us, which I think is totally cool. But we want to propagate the gospel. We want to use the strength and the wealth of this nation to proclaim Jesus Christ. And we cannot do that under socialism. We're not going to be able to do that under some of the policies that were sliding into place under previous administrations. And Donald Trump has hit a big pause button here in America on socialism, on globalism, on certain things that I think were very detrimental to us as Christians.
Yeah. Yes. The trailer, rather the movie, the documentary talks about the enemies of America. And I do recall in one of the campaign trails of President Donald Trump, where he was talking and he said, they're coming after me because I'm protecting you guys, right? So tell us more, like when you say, for someone who probably doesn't know or isn't aware, who exactly are the enemies of America? What did you mean?
Well, the enemies of America are anybody that, and we have enemies outside our country. I mean, look at, what took place on 9/11, less than 20 years ago. I mean, we had radical Muslims that flew through airplanes into our buildings, killing over 3,500 people in one fell swoop. So there are enemies, I think, for every nation, but America, is very welcoming. We want immigration. We want to bring people from other countries, but there's, we want them to be Americans. When you come here, we want you to be American and share the American dream, which I believe is still very much alive. But there's certain religious groups and other countries that don't share that same sentiment that we share as Christians and believers. So there's enemies from outside, but there's also, as with any country, enemies from within that want this country destroyed. And here's what we say in the film. Listen, we want America improved. We are not a perfect nation. We are not a perfect people. We have issues with racism. Look what happened with George Floyd. There are issues with Black Lives Matter, and I understand that. But I want America improved. I don't want it wholesale changed or destroyed in any way. I love the country, and millions are still trying. As flawed as our nation is, people are still trying to get in this country by the thousands, because there is opportunity here, despite what you hear in the secular news.
Okay. All right, Paul, let's talk about the man Donald Trump himself, because earlier you said that the film also shows a side of Donald Trump which mainstream media just would not show. Tell us a bit about that side, and also tell us why, and this is a question that a lot of people probably are asking, why would God, if you say that God is using Donald Trump at a time such as this, why would he use Donald Trump, of all people, if you know what I mean? Of course, everybody knows Donald Trump. So tell us a bit about that side of the man, Donald Trump.
That's the biggest issue. You do not know the Donald Trump. All you know is the Donald Trump you see through the media, and it's very skewed. There is a compassionate side to this man. There's an honor to this man. Let's just go back to Peter, okay, in the Bible. He lied 3 times as Christ was going to the cross. He's a liar. But what did Jesus say about the man? On this rock, I'm going to build my church. And the last time I looked at the ballot, Jesus Christ is not on the ballot here in America. We've got 2 choices, Donald Trump and Biden. So I'm going to make my choice based on policies that these men are going to be putting in place, not his character, not his personality. Yes, Trump says stupid things. Yes, he says things and tweets things that we wish he wouldn't. I'm just going to be honest with you. But when it comes to standing for religious freedom, when he stands to protecting America, protecting our borders, protecting the unborn, protecting Israel, he is, for me, the right choice. And like I said, there is a side of him in stories that we tell within the film of honesty, integrity, that you're just not going to hear about in the secular press.
Indeed. And you know, the film, of course, it also talks about issues like globalism, you know, about border walls. These are current issues, critical issues in the United States at the time. It talks about the Antichrist and essentially what could happen if Donald Trump isn't re-elected. Tell us more about how this also relates to the Church of Jesus Christ and you know, in this time.
It's a good question. You know, listen, border walls and walls are not immoral. If walls themselves are immoral, then heaven is immoral, because there's a wall that was built around heaven. There's a wall built around Jerusalem. I guarantee you there's a wall built around your compound there in Nigeria. Walls are not immoral. They're part of life. And we in America are dealing with an influx. And like I said, we want immigration. There's nothing wrong with Mexicans immigrating or the Chinese or the Vietnamese or anybody from Africa. We need immigration. We want immigration, but we want legal immigration. We have a wall, but there is a door in that wall that you can come through, and we want you lovingly to come to America. But we also want to be able to keep out MS-13. We want to keep out drugs. We want to keep out gangs. We want to keep out crime and corruption. And that's why these walls are being put in place. And for some reason, the secular press is making a huge issue that somehow that is immoral. And we want, you know, bring your families, bring your skills to this country, because there is still a land here of opportunity. But the bigger issue is under Obama, our previous administration, we were sliding into this political correctness where if you said something bad about anybody, anything, you can be labeled as hate speech. And what was happening here with our churches is pastors were talking about same-sex marriage. They were talking about God-ordained marriage to be between a man and a woman. If you spoke that in church, you could actually be arrested, and that would be labeled as hate speech because you were talking about what God had said in the Bible about marriage. Same-sex marriage was another issue. There was a couple in Colorado 4 or 5 years ago. Their business was shut down because they didn't want to bake a cake. They were a Christian couple, and a gay couple came in, wanted a cake baked for their wedding, and they said, because of our religious convictions, we would rather not do that. Go to another baker. And the government stepped in and shut them down. And those are the type of things that are very dangerous when you start heading down that slippery slope.
Indeed,
Wow.
indeed. So with everything that is going on, and clearly we know that whatever happens in the United States, it's sort of going to trickle down. I mean, it's going to affect the whole world, essentially. What is the role of the believer, you know, of the Christian, seeing that we are in this fight or in this battle, as it were, spiritual battle? What is the role of the church, not just in America but worldwide in this hour?
I believe the church in America, it's critical right now that they get on their knees and pray. Listen, whether you like it or not, and the Democrats here have been trying to strip God out of this country for the last 50 or 100 years. America was founded on Christian principles. We were founded on the Bible. We were founded on the Ten Commandments. Almost every courthouse in America years ago used to have the 10 Commandments up emblazoned on the wall. That now is being stripped out, it's being taken down, and God is trying to be stripped out of our culture, out of our daily lives, out of the schools, the public school system. You're not allowed to pray anymore. You can't talk about God. And that grieves me to the core, because whether you like it or not, America was founded on Christian principles. So it is so unusual and to me such a miracle that 3.5 years ago, Donald Trump even got elected. As you know, he's not a politician, he's a businessman. And the fact that he beat Hillary Clinton was a miracle, in my opinion. And now I've seen what the man has done for the Supreme Court, for Israel, for border walls, for different things like that. And for me, it's a no-brainer. Now, I can't tell everybody who to vote for, nor would I ever do that. That's not my job. But that film is designed to give people information about the man that I don't think they knew about. And that's why we created it. And I want people to vote on policies. What is the man getting done? Not whether you like the guy, whether you like his hairdo, you don't like his hairdo, you don't like his mannerisms. Forget all that. You know, we've had some very eloquent presidents in our history that were some of the most immoral men on the planet, but they were good politicians. Donald Trump is what you see is what you get.
Thank you so very much, Paul, for taking this time to talk with us. And I can tell you that even here, our dear man of God, Reverend Dr. Chris Oyakhilome, is also getting us all together, ministers, saints all over the world, and we are also praying. So thank you very much for what you're doing, Amen. Your project, and those that are working with you. We know that the movie is going to go a long way to touch the hearts of people and get them to realize what's important, bring them back to that place where they realize that God is the ultimate authority. Thank you so much for having us join us.
Guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think there's anything to what he has said? Is it true? Is it not true? What do you see as happen after Trump? How is it going to affect you as a person? But we continue to pray that God's peace and calm comes upon that country and that God's will be done. That is my personal prayer for the United States at this time. So that's pretty much it. Subscribe if you haven't by pressing that red button over there, and then go ahead and activate your notifications so you know when next videos drop. I'd be honored to have you here on the channel. So that's pretty much it. I will see you in the next one. Till then, always remember this: life is and can be amazing when you know how to live it. I'm Zoe Maven. I'll see you in the next one. And here's to peace. Cheers.